We are witnessing what might be the greatest attempt at historic revision I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not going to stand by and let it happen. If you can give me a little over 2 minutes, I can show you why it is absolute horseshit to say that the world was safer under Donald Trump. Trump likes to say that Putin didn't try anything while Trump was in office, as if Putin was afraid of him. The facts tell the exact opposite story. Putin was manipulating Trump the entire time. Do you guys remember this shitbag? His name is Paul Manafort, and he is the main character. This dude was Trump's top advisor in 2016 and ran Trump's campaign. But before that, in 2004, Paul Manafort was hired by pro-Russian billionaires in Ukraine to try to revamp the image of the billionaire class. After 6 years, Manafort's work paid off, and a guy named Viktor Yanukovych was elected president of Ukraine in 2010. Yanukovych was shit and was thrown out after 3 years in a literal revolution after he was exposed as a pro-Russian tool. We didn't know this until 2016, but during those exact years, Manafort was paid $12.7 million by Yanukovych's campaign. After the 2014 revolution in Ukraine, Yanukovych was thrown out, and Manafort was now unemployed and looking for a new billionaire to help win. Meanwhile, Yanukovych fled the country, leaving behind a $100 million estate with actual gold toilets. Does that sound familiar? Right about this time was when Putin annexed Crimea because he was just taking advantage of the chaos. Manafort was so desperate to work for Trump that he offered to work for free. And because Trump is a malleable idiot, it only took Manafort about 6 months to take over his entire campaign and turn Trump into a pro-Russian tool. A Republican Senate report found that Manafort had been working with a Russian spy the entire time. When the infamous Black Ledger came out and it was exposed that Paul Manafort had been paid by pro-Russian billionaires, he resigned from the campaign, but the damage had already been done. Manafort committed actual crimes and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. You remember in October of 2016 when Clinton called Trump Russia's puppet? She was dead on accurate. And that's why Trump lost his shit and said, "No, you're the puppet." It's because I know you are, but what am I as the meanest clapback and idiot like Trump can think of. So from 2016 to 2019, Ukraine tried to get their shit together, but they basically fell apart. There was a lot of corruption and they didn't have a good president. That's when Zelensky got elected in 2019 in a massive landslide. But it was less than a year before Trump's tenure was up, and it was less than a year before the pandemic hit. When Trump lost the election, he pardoned Manafort from his 7 years in prison. And only 2 years later, once the pandemic was mostly behind us, Putin invaded Ukraine. The world was not safer under Donald Trump. We just didn't know how bad it was because he was too stupid to know that he was being manipulated by a foreign government.